Once again, it's time for your favorite day of the week, Tech Friday. Yay! On today's episode, Proton Mail makes Gmail better. DuckDuckGo has a search page that doesn't use DuckDuckGo AI. Standard.Site becomes more standard, and White Wolf has a new project announcing at Gen Con. All right, let's dig into it. First up is Proton Mail, and this article is courtesy of Engadget. Proton Mail makes it easier for you to transition away from Gmail and ditch Google while still using Gmail. I know this sounds weird, right? But let's dig into it. So, obviously, Proton Mail wants you to use its services, and they make it possible. They already had an easy switch tool, right? But now you can send emails from your Gmail address within Proton service as well. So Google will no longer be able to use your email activity, such as which emails you read and engage with, to build a profile about you. When your friends and family use Proton Mail, messages exchanged between Gmail addresses connected to Proton become end-to-end encrypted, so Google will not be able to read your data anymore. Strips tracker ads and spam from your emails for added privacy. So I've just started using Proton Mail. I do like it, and it's an interesting move. Like, you can still use that Gmail address you have, but we strip out all the things that you don't like about what Google is doing to Gmail, and you can still use your Gmail address. So CarGen X, hello, welcome on in. But yeah, try it out. Like I said, I've just started using Proton Mail, so I'm digging into it, and I want to hook up. I want my primary email address to go into my Proton Mail box, so I kind of got to set that up yet. And when I do, I'll be like, hey, use this email address to talk to me. Let's see. All right, next up, DuckDuckGo has a search engine page that doesn't use AI. Any AI, not its own AI. So it's noai.duckduckgo.com right there. Last week we talked about Start Page as another possible search engine. And you can see over here on the side, I have this handy no AI sticker, search privately without AI. And, I can search for myself. And look, there's my main website, my YouTube, my Twitch, Instagram. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I have a Linktree. I don't use Linktree anymore, so ignore that. Blue Sky, Patreon, so it serves up good results right away, especially because it takes you to dclasair.com, and you can set your safe search to be moderate, off, whatever. It'll remember it, and all of that fun stuff. So I've been really liking noai.duckduckgo for searches, more so than I did Start Page that I tried last week. Start Page is still a good option, I think, but it seems like I'm getting better results out of the noai.duckduckgo. And DuckDuckGo does have AI options. You could always turn them off, but the no AI one just says, no, we took all the AI out of our search engine. You don't have to worry about a thing. Just go to that URL. It's fantastic. My cat's back. Hey, Hannah, how you doing? What's going on, kitty? Yeah, hi. Cat, yeah. Hi, kitty. All right, you gonna be all right? I can continue on with the show. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Thanks for gigantifying the emote. Love it. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about Standard.Site, which relates to Proto, and we've talked about them on previous Tech Fridays, or the AT protocol, however you want to say it, or AT protocol. Stands for Atmosphere Protocol. It's a bit behind Blue Sky, and 3 or 4 sites that were using Proto got together to create a schema. They called it Standard.Site, so that when you publish on one of these platforms, you essentially can read it on any of the other platforms, and if you decide you don't like that particular platform, easily transfer your data over. Very little fuss involved. Well, now Blue Sky has integrated Standard.Site link cards, and so now you have enhanced previews of articles, as it says, and we'll show you what that looks like right now. Over here on the right, you can see Offprint is one of the sites that participated in making Standard.Site, and you can read all about it here. I'll post that link in a minute. But you get this handy card now when you post an article to Blue Sky that you publish to one of these sites. So if you use Offprint or Pocket or Leaflet as your blog platform, you can post a link to Blue Sky and have this nice looking card about your article. And it says, where it's at, who it's by. You can subscribe to Offprint by going to Offprint, and that is very handy that now we have the integration, and we have, instead of just a regular link, we have these neat info cards should you use something like Offprint for your blog or any other page. And here's the direct link to the Offprint site article. I've been looking at Offprint for my tech blog, newsletter, TTRPG and tech thing that I want to make. And now that we get these fancy links on Blue Sky, it makes using one of those sites a little more attractive. And this article on Offprint also breaks down kind of under the hood the different bits of code that Blue Sky uses to create these cards. So if you want to dig into it more, check out that article I just posted into chat. All right, next up, Acer has announced a new gaming handheld, and this article is also on Engadget. It also announced some gaming PCs, and so their Nitro Blaze Link will now let you play games over Wi-Fi. Looks like it's a neat little handheld available sometime in the, fourth quarter 2026. And it will work with its newer gaming-focused laptop. So let's see, what are the specs here? 7-inch touchscreen. Don't have any details on pricing yet. Okay. And then Acer made some other gaming-related announcements as well. You can check those out. And let's just get rid of some of these I don't need anymore. All right, and now going into TTRPG stuff, D&D Beyond Maps has introduced journals, and I will set up a thing where we can look at how it works in just a moment. So here it is, and they're rolling out the journals in a little bits at a time. This first one just makes entries for game masters, just to make quick entries if you're in maps on D&D Beyond. And then the next phase will be more feature rich, and then finally there'll be a player facing way to add journals in. And this is also where I say I have done contract work for Wizards of the Coast before. They have no say over any content that goes on this channel, but I have worked with them. I'm still working with them under a contract, so yeah, just to be fairness. All right, so here's one of my games. Let me see here. Let's turn that on. Yeah, let me make it so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, you don't need to see any of that. Okay, there we go. So here's a map in D&D Beyond. These are my home players. And so I'm doing something. They find a hidden item over behind this tree. I can click the J button or click this here. So either J or that. I can click here, add journal entry, and so I found the magic ale behind the tree, and I hit enter, and now that's a journal. And if I ever want to see that, I can hit Shift J to open campaign journal, or just the button. Here it is. Here's my entry for May 29th. Which is today, and they found the magic ale behind the tree, and then this my test note I made the other day. So a quick way to add notes to your game, about your game, and I'm like, okay, this is a really handy feature. However, I'll also note that you should totally be using My Vault to keep track of your games, no matter what system you're using. So go to that link. That'll take you to my GitHub, where you can actually download My Vault, and system agnostic. So whatever system you like using, keep your game organized. Use my stuff. But but no, what I'll probably do is make the quick notes in this journal, just so everything's on one page, and then I'll transfer them into my Obsidian Vault later, just so I have everything organized how I want it to be organized. But yeah, I think that's a interesting feature. Still, use My Vault. Use My Vault. If you make TTRPGs, or if you run games, use my vault. Yeah, okay. Do it. All right. Also, we have White Wolf has made an announcement that they are going to have an announcement at Gen Con. And if you didn't know, the White Wolf name has been traded to a few companies over time. And so now the current company called White Wolf is going to make an announcement about a new project for Vampire the Masquerade. There's the article. And oh yeah, that's right. I gotta switch this window back. Oop. There we go. Ta-da. So this will be the first release announcement of the company that now has the White Wolf name and licenses and all that. So there'll be a full presentation and the roadmap for the World of Darkness scheduled for Thursday at Gen Con 2026. So if you're interested in World of Darkness, new things are coming up. What that looks like, we're not sure. Is it a version 6 of the World of Darkness starting up? Don't know. We'll find out. All right, and finally, friends over at Modifius are having a sale. If you like anything that Modifius does, now's a good time to get in. This is a great sale on stuff. It's their press start sale, and see. So if you like Acton Cthulhu, these are great prices on all this. There's also, I've gone through some of the pages. There is Fallout things on sale and a whole bunch of other things. Just, there's 17 pages of things you can check out. And if you like what Modifius is doing, check out their sale. It's still it runs through, I believe it runs through Sunday, so you still have a little time to save some money on their products. Wait a minute, is anything else happening at Gen Con that we should know about? Well, I do have a panel at Gen Con about producing live streams for TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game actual plays. What? I know, right? There's only 10 tickets left, so you should definitely pick one up now and come on by and you get to see me. And I'll talk about how to make a TTRPG actual play, how to produce it, whether that be live or recorded. So it'll be a little different presentation this year than previous years. Time is running out, folks. Exactly. Thank you, Rex. So go to that link. It's event number 310277 for those playing at home. I may even retool the presentation that I put on the screen part, like a whole different way of doing it with the PowerPoint and all that stuff, since I have time yet to make that. But tickets are running out fast. Get in on it before they go. And that will be Tech Friday for this week, a bit shorter one. If you're watching the VOD, thank you for being here, everybody. And I'll see you next week for another episode of Tech Friday.